Hello.
Can you?
I can. Yeah. How's it going?
Good. How are you, Sarah?
I'm good, thank you. Okay. Let me get this pulled up here really quick. Okay, so it's kind of
Hmm.
reading over what you wrote. Like, give me the backstory a little bit. Like, you're in India right now, right? And you're coming back to
Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably going to be starting my master's program in NYC, at Berkeley, NYC this fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank
And did you went to school there prior, right?
you. Yeah, I did.
Okay. Okay.
But I went to Berkeley, Boston,
Okay. Nice.
because that was undergraduate. This is master's.
Okay, cool. That's great. I'm from New
Mhm.
York City originally, so it's fun.
Nice.
Yeah. So what kind of led you to us?
Um, that's a long story. I was going through. I was looking for like some side hustles because I mean I have a very comfortable life in India, but I cannot maintain the same life in New York City with the earnings that I have right now. So I was looking for something which is outside drop shipping and affiliate marketing and stuff like that. So then I came across this model of rent a website and seemed like these guys were the ones who started it or was one of the first ones to kind of start
Yeah.
it, something like that. And then I
Yeah.
found like numerous because I got to know and then I found so many people doing the same things. I was like, all right, it's back to that overwhelming game of everyone teaching
Yeah.
something and God knows who teaches it best. So,
No, for sure, for sure. I mean, honestly, sorry, I'm plugging in my computer really quick. I've been doing this model myself for like over,
uh-huh.
yeah, 10 years basically. Um,
Nice.
I've
Hmm.
known Dan, the guy who started all of this, since
Hmm.
college. So we all went to college together.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. I've known
nice.
him a very long time. 18 years of my life, which is kind of crazy to think about. But
Right.
yeah, so I used to be a teacher, so I taught fifth grade, and then I had my daughter, she was 2, and then I found out I was having twins. So I was like, okay, like I'm gonna have to stay home. I have 3 kids, under 3.
Hmm.
Um, and at that time, like I knew what he was doing, from a friend perspective, but like I didn't really care, because I had my
Right, how it is.
I was
Yeah.
like, whatever. But when I was forced to kind of stay home, at that point, that's when I'm like, all right, like, what is this? So I called him and I just said, obviously I have no background in this, but like it just made sense to me, at a very basic level.
It's very
So,
logical, right?
yeah, I mean, like every business needs leads. Okay, I got that. Like when I need something, I pull
Hmm.
up my phone, I Google it. Okay, I get that too. How hard can this
Hmm.
be? And yeah, so that was 10 years ago. I mean, I've built my business, I still have it. I think kind of you get into it and then you start realizing too, like all the millions of things you can do when you know how to drive traffic. It is kind of
Hmm.
a really powerful thing. So, yeah, but been a lot of people I think that have, kind of siphoned off of, from Dan, but I definitely think he's the
Hmm.
OG, in the business,
Hmm.
especially from this model specifically, there's
Hmm.
been, yeah, a lot of cool stuff that's come from it. So, I can speak to it as a student. Obviously, I've done it, the same
Hmm.
as, you guys would. I help out a little bit with coaching now. So,
Nice.
yeah, I'm
Okay.
an open book. So I can show you the
Nice.
course, whatever questions you have. I mean, I'm from New York, right? So I'm super direct and transparent.
That's good. That's
So
good. Yeah.
yeah, listen, nobody has time or like wants to like go through the BS. You know what I mean? Like, I think
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like, I can speak to you and tell you how this is going to work. Like you got to decide,
Hmm.
is this the path you like can see yourself doing, right? In the capacity that you know how. Like you're not going to understand everything, right? Because I mean, you
Hmm.
have to do it to experience it, but I mean, I think you kind of know if the model makes sense enough to you from a business perspective of like, okay, I can see myself doing this, right? Like I see the value.
Yeah, yeah, I think I can. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean, when I was looking for these things, when I read about it, I was like, this is very logical. It
Yes.
perfectly makes sense. And
Yeah.
I can see, I mean, me knowing myself, I just get into it and I just get into it I mean, I'm a musician, so I'm pretty obsessive about things.
Yeah. It's
So I
funny. I
get
was
into it
reading
like with
that.
a lot of obsession.
Yeah, I was reading that too. So Dan's son,
Mhm.
Dan is like hyper into music. Like, um,
Mm.
his son is my daughter's age. They're like a month apart, but almost
Mhm.
13 now. But he produces music too. So like
Oh,
we would always
okay.
go over and like Dan learned, like he taught himself, what's that stuff where you like, I don't know, I forget the program.
Production.
Yeah, I mean, like he literally taught himself how to produce. So I mean, we go in and like just
He
make
has all the
songs
console.
ourselves.
Man, I should have taken my call in the studio. My brother is actually DJing right now in the studio upstairs.
Oh, that's so cool.
But I have,
Yeah, that's our
I know
life.
exactly what you're talking about
Yeah,
because I
like
have a home studio at home. I mean, I produce at home, and it's funny because it's so strange. So I used to, I mean, I still run a music production coaching business. My
okay.
biggest problem was always getting leads, and I don't know how to do that.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
think our program is the best in the world. I'm not just like saying it out. I know it's the best in the world because our students come out producing professional music in like 6 weeks.
That's awesome.
Someone
That's
that doesn't know anything.
Yeah, no, for
So,
sure. And I love that you say that because it's like, I mean, that's just kind of how Dan is, the same way you kind of operate, right? Like, I mean,
mm,
that's where if you take the core of what we're teaching, right? It's how to drive traffic. Like you could do
hmm
exactly what you're doing, right? Or you implement it.
hmm
Like I could, I love clothes, so I could do this side, right? It doesn't matter what the avenue is. You still have to know like how to brand
right,
yourself, right? And how to drive that traffic.
exactly,
So like once you know how to do that, I mean, the world's your oyster, you know what I mean? Like if you have the skills, go make money from it. And I think if
right.
I know it's kind of like bigger picture stuff, but still like it is I mean that's
Small
what
steps,
oh,
yeah, one step at a time. Yes, right.
correct. Like you got to have money to, freedom and all those things that leads to next
hmm
steps, right? And yeah, I mean, it's really cool. Dan's actually talked about kind of similar thing of what you're doing because he's like, okay, I self-taught myself this. I mean, hours, right? I mean, beyond
hmm
that. But I mean, the music industry is so hard to get into.
It is.
It really, and it's
Yeah,
just,
we have a hard time. Yeah.
yeah, he's learned all
So
this
it's his
stuff.
son or it's him who is into
It's
music?
his son.
His,
Well, he's
okay.
inversely now into music because, all the,
Because of this.
yeah,
I
but like
see.
he's so talented. Like, I mean, he's in his own world of stuff, but like
Nice. Yeah, I could
produces,
see my, yeah.
DJs, he plays piano, guitar, I mean, just all the drums, I mean, phenomenal. Like that's just
This
his
sounds
life.
like me, my
Yeah,
childhood. Yeah, that's how
yeah.
it was.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
No,
In
that's great.
fact,
I totally get it.
I didn't learn music till like I was almost out of engineering school. I was all doing it myself. And then when I actually auditioned for Berkeley, I didn't know anything about music theory at all. But then they selected me with the highest scholarship in India that year in
Oh, cool.
2014. Yeah. So, and that from there on, the at least the music line was going up and up. I had some setbacks because of which I had to come back to India for a while. But again, I'm back. I'm gearing
Yeah,
up for my 2.0 version, hopefully starting this
great.
summer.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I mean, I think like you're always going to have those passions in life, you know what I mean? But it's not like
hmm
I woke up one day and I'm like, oh, I want to start a marketing company. Like it's not it, but like
Right.
I enjoy it and it allows me and to like be present with my family, have the flexibility I
Mhm.
need, right? Make good money. I mean, all the things that I value in life that this is the
Right.
channel that got me there. You know what I mean? So
Right. Right.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
In
no,
fact, that's one of the reason I'm on this call because see, I have about 6 months left. And I really need to put in a lot of effort to kind of figure out a way to have a side business. And I know nothing happens overnight, and I'm a musician. I know that very well. But if I put in the efforts, even if it's in the first year of college, I mean, I want to just like because I also have what Berkeley has told me is that I will probably be one of the highest scholarship recipients for masters as well. Right
okay.
now, that's what they've told me, but I'm still, they don't give full scholarship. So I need to kind of figure out a way to pay for my little part of the tuition as well. So I'm like
Yeah,
in the middle of, I have to stop what I'm doing, not like stop, but I really need to put in more hours and figure out
yeah,
something
yeah.
else which kind of makes sense.
No, for
Yeah,
sure. Like I love it. And I mean,
Mm,
listen, I think it's always good to have other lines in the sands, you know what I mean? Like
exactly.
that's, the smarter way to play the game of life. You have to have a couple options. And I think this is something, again, that I've built. And if I feel like, again, what am I? Like I was a teacher, I didn't have a background in this, but
Right.
you learn and you move forward and implement and, it's just repeat
Right.
process. So
Right.
yeah. But
Yeah.
anyways, okay, well, I'm assuming you probably, watched some of the videos and have
I
like,
did. Yeah. I have a basic understanding of how what it is.
okay, good. Well, like I said, I mean, I'm an open book. Like I can show you the course. We can go
Mhm.
through your questions first. I mean, I don't really have like a agendas, for these
Set.
calls.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
we
No
can do it.
worries. Anyhow, whatever, like I would love to see. My point is like, again, I've seen so many of these courses of the same. I just want to know what is different
Yeah,
with you guys versus what is different with others. And of course, he's probably students. I don't know. I just want to
yeah.
know whom to choose. Again, it's a spiral for anyone who's looking for a course, as you know.
I know it's
Yeah.
hard because like, well, okay, let me start with this. Like, do you feel like this is like, you want to do this model, or like, are you still trying to figure out?
No, no, this is the model I'm going to do.
Okay,
I'm pretty
okay,
sure about
cool.
that.
Okay.
With or without coaching. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, for
yeah.
sure. Um, Let me share my
Because it's so logical. What I've understood is if you can figure out the SEO part, everything, because I run a business and I ran one like properly. I know
Mhm.
all of the setting up websites, landing pages, ads, blah 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 blah. What I don't know is SEO.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what
the
I
key,
mean?
right? That's the
That's the
meat.
key, right?
Yeah.
That's the meat and
Yeah.
potatoes.
No,
So
it is like and I mean, listen, like let's just be real, right? Like there's so many tools now that I mean, making a website is not that difficult. I mean, all those
yeah,
things, it's pretty damn straight easy, like, but
yeah.
it's I think even with us, like in our thinking processes, like I said, the way that we view this, right? And how we implement it, I think that's what really kind of drives the force with stuff. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's not just about the money. Like there's so many things that can come from this. Like if you just build it, you
Right.
have to just find
Yeah,
a way to,
sales. Right.
yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
for sure. And we like, I hate saying sales because I don't really like look at it that way. I mean,
Okay.
are adding such a value, like it's just kind of a no-brainer for these business owners.
Mm.
It's like, why wouldn't you want?
Yeah.
You're already paying for the leads anyway, so I'm coming in with this immense value, right? Like it's just a
Mm-hmm.
conversation, between that. But
Right.
um,
Right.
yeah, I mean, I think there's so much of this, right? Like you're gonna learn the foundations. This is the course, by the way. So
Mm-hmm.
um the technical side, right? Like your foundational skills, SEO, Google Maps, right? Niches, sales, pricing, back end of the business,
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff. um
Mm-hmm.
it's probably 40 hours from start to finish, like when you were go
Okay.
through it. I think a lot of this, like being honest, once you kind of go through the course once, right? Twice, whatever, you just kind of get it. Like I haven't,
Yeah.
like it's not rocket science. You don't have to sit there, continually, like, the process of how this is going to go, find your niche,
Mm-hmm.
build the site, rank it, rent
Mm-hmm.
it. Like,
Right.
awesome. And then,
Right.
where I spend a lot of my time now and have, for a long time is in the group.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll show.
Okay. The Facebook or some
Yeah, yeah.
Telegram or something?
It's Facebook. Listen, we all hate Facebook, but like the
Yeah,
group's
no, the
been
group it's
around.
groups is great on Facebook actually because we used to have the same thing on Facebook when with the music production thing.
Yeah. I mean, we would rather like get off, but we've been like our course has been around for 10 years. So like
Mm.
you have 10 years of accumulated stuff all in this place.
All in this place, yeah, I
It's
see.
kind of I mean, God, that's a whole nother task within itself to try to, take
Oh,
that
move it
out.
somewhere else,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Facebook
anyways,
isn't going anywhere anyway, so
oh,
yeah,
I know, believe me.
yeah, for businesses.
It's crazy. It's so crazy how our lives are like tied to.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I spend a lot of my time in here, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you're learning so much, like nuggets that are coming in. We have
Mm-hmm.
all of our live calls. So they're twice a week group calls every Tuesday and Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
4:30 Pacific our time. I don't really know what time that is.
No, I don't care about that.
Okay,
I'll figure that
anyways.
out. Yeah, doesn't
Um,
matter.
but they're all recorded. So like you
You're
can,
in the Bay Area yet? Yes,
I
or
used to be,
you've
Ipe's
okay.
still there. I'm in Florida.
I
Um,
see. Okay.
I lived in Vegas with Dan and them. I just moved to Florida like
I see.
9 months ago. So,
Okay.
yeah, but
Okay.
yeah, Ipe's still there. He will not leave. He will not leave San Francisco for some reason. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, like, I mean, like I said, it's just a very active community. Like you're gonna learn
Mm-hmm.
from people that are just like, oh, hey, I tried this, or I did this. And whenever we do a live too, we're always trying to, give you something that you're going to be able to like take away, right? Like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
nobody needs another hype man, like, whatever. We want to be able to like
Yeah.
call and like, have something to take back with, right? So, I mean, these are kind of the way our
Mm-hmm.
calls work. So it's always a new technique that maybe we just tried out and we're like, oh, we're seeing results with this. So we bring it to the group or,
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case is. So, um, yeah, I mean,
I
there's just so
see.
much support, and help,
Mm-hmm.
in this
I
way.
see. Mm-hmm.
Um, so there's that. And then you also get one-on-one calls. So you're able to like book, I'll show ya. You can like go on and book, through here. Like, hey, I need to talk to Sarah. Okay, great. Like book a call, right? Like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
so those are always available. Cause I think in the beginning, it's always,
Weekly check-ins. Okay.
yeah, I mean,
Okay.
listen, you kind of like almost don't need us at a certain point, because
Yeah. After a
just,
point, yes.
yeah.
I
But I
see.
think like in the beginning, I'm sure you know this from, your what you do and everything.
Yeah.
It's nice to just have that reassurance or that hand holding,
Correct.
like, hey, I'm doing this right. Or, like whatever the case is, rather than just all on a video, like, again,
Yeah.
not
Especially with
rocket
algorithm
science.
changes, it's
Yeah.
very important.
So
Right.
those
Hmm.
are always available to you. Like I've had students, I helped them in the beginning, like, okay, great. They got their first couple clients. Now they get it, right? So, off
Mm-hmm.
to the races. And then, they'll check in like a year later and be like, hey, like haven't talked to you in a while. Can we hop on? I'm like, of course, like book a call,
Mm-hmm.
good. But then like they've reached the 10K mark in their business, right? Like there's different problems that come in when you reach certain levels, right? Like you got to
Yeah.
like, okay, now it's, maybe I got to, regroup again, and we can help guide you through that because I mean, we've all been there, I know what this path looks like to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, like there's different things that are going to come into play. So, I mean, my
Mm-hmm.
point is like, there's no limit to them. You can always hop on, I just think that
Okay.
it's
It's
good to
good
have,
flexibility. Yeah.
yeah, it's good to have that, other side of it too. So,
I see.
between like the one-on-ones, I mean, the group,
Mm-hmm.
like again,
Mm-hmm.
there's just so much support and, mentorship behind it all. I think that's why
Mm-hmm.
honestly so many students have became uber successful because like you were saying with the courses, right? Like what's different? Like, okay, well, I mean, SEO is SEO. I mean, yes, we have tactics that I think are very high level, right? And which is why this works too. But at the end of the day, like if you wanted to go dive into learning SEO, you could, I'm sure, figure it out, right? Like, I mean, that is the
Mm-hmm.
reality of this. So you're getting a roadmap that's going to push you 50 times quicker, and we have
Mm-hmm.
systems in place. We know what to do, like to get you making results fast.
I see. So
So
this is this business model has been around for almost a decade, right? Or more than that, as you were saying. So I'm trying to understand again, just like you can be upfront,
yeah,
honest, like with the changes with the AI of Google and all people talking that SEO is going to be dead in like a year or two or whatever. How is it looking from your end, at least? How what is the progress like this year or maybe the last few years compared to when you started, for example, 10 years back?
yeah.
That's
No,
a
it's
question I had in my mind. Yeah.
for sure. No, it's super valid. Listen, when I started, obviously it was a lot more simple, I guess I'd say that word, like um SEO has been around for a very, very long time, right? Like
Yes.
the analogy that I like to give, because again, I'm very, simple with all this stuff. you can put a
Mm-hmm.
pot of water, right, on a stove, put it on simmer.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna boil
Mm-hmm.
eventually, right? Regardless.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
we're just turning it up to the highest. We're doing it 10x quicker, right? Because
Like
eventually,
compared to others, you mean?
um, yeah, I mean, compared to others, or even just like the way of organic traffic, right? Like, if you have a website and the more that you grow, I mean, traffic's gonna get higher, but it's gonna take a while, and especially if you're adding content, right? We're just kind of making it boil even faster, right? To get to the top, quick, basically. Because we all
Okay.
know like that's where the leads are. You know what I mean? So they have to
Mm-hmm.
be there if they want to be relevant. I
Mm-hmm.
think if anything, AI has helped us make a lot of tasks easier, because we're able
Okay.
to, do things correctly or write content the right way or, build the websites faster, right? Like, I think those are tools that I mean, I wish that was around when I started because I had to write, 2,000 words about pest control. And it was like, I mean, I don't know anything about pest control, so you really spent a lot
Mm-hmm.
of time doing that. But I think that the core of this really hasn't changed, honestly, too much,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like Google wants websites and is going to put authority on websites that give value, right? They're an
Mm-hmm.
information source. Like, so when you're doing that correctly, and especially when you're going into a market that is low competition or, like we're going
Do you
hyper.
think it's low competition right now? I mean, even at this point when so many people are doing it, it seems.
Well, listen, I think what I was saying though is like we go in and do hyper local stuff. You're going up against, we call them with third grade competition, right? Like these local businesses have no freaking idea what to do when it comes to what their online presence should be like, right? Like they
Mm-hmm.
know how to build a fence or fix a roof or whatever the case is. Like this is not their forte, on that side.
Mm-hmm.
I think from a business model perspective, I think it's obviously gained in popularity, right? Like, I mean, people know more about rank and rent and things like that. But you have to,
Mm-hmm.
from a numbers perspective, how many new business
There's a lot of places, yeah, yeah. I see.
there is so much work. Like, there's no way you're just never gonna take
Saturated
it
from
out.
anywhere, yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying.
Probably
Like,
not
there's
gonna get
always,
saturated with number of businesses coming up. I would assume.
what was that?
Yeah. I would assume with the number of businesses getting registered every year in the US itself, some 1.4 million or something. I
Yeah.
don't think so. That's why, I mean, I'm just asking you, but I feel like it's not gonna get saturated that easily, at least in my
Yeah.
mind.
I agree with you. And listen, I've done this for a long time, right? And I think you also have to remember too, I mean, my story is a great example of this. Like, I mean, I have probably like, I don't know, 27 or 28 sites that are rented, right? Like I can get paid for those. I
Yeah.
don't really want to grow anymore. Like,
I see what you mean.
you know what I mean? Like, I'm fine. I'm super content. I make plenty of money. I mean, because it was never about the money for me. Like, I had to stay home. I mean, my kids are older now. My daughter's almost 13 and the twins are almost 10. Like, I literally have sports or some kind of activity for them. I mean, I'm driving for 4 hours of the day. You know what I mean? So, like,
Mm-hmm.
I just need flexibility.
Yeah.
That's for me.
Yeah.
I don't need to
Yeah.
grow to the point where I'm like making this massive,
Massive amount of money. Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
like to me it's you people have to take that into account, like I mean, I'm one
Mm-hmm.
person and I have what, roughly 30 sites. Okay, that's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
In the name of like numbers of what we're comparing to, so
Right, right, right.
there's
See.
um plenty of pie to go around, I like to say,
Mm-hmm.
and you just have to know how to do the research to find the right piece, I guess I'd, put it that way.
Right
Like,
place. Do the research basically. So
yeah.
how does the timeline look like for an average Joe joining your course, let's say, who
Mhm.
has, I mean, considering I have See, the thing is, my father is in the hospital, like he's
Oh,
chronically ill. So one of the reasons I am doing this because I cannot make music in the hospital. So I have all the time in the world to distract myself from looking at him. He's
yeah.
completely bedridden. So I would say I have a lot of time in my hand because I stay in the hospital at nights, most nights.
Yeah.
So think that I have like 7 hours a day and I start at next month or something. So do I see results in the next 6 months or something? 3 months, 4 months, one year?
Yeah. I mean,
Realistically, not like.
No, no,
Not
no,
one
for
of
sure.
those one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm very realistic, so I'll give you the
Yeah.
real picture. Even like I said, with my story specifically, right? When I started this, my daughter was 2. I had newborn twins. Okay. Are you kidding me? Like I could barely take a shower.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't
So
know how to
like
do it. Yeah.
I did not have a lot of time to commit to this, but I maybe put an
Hmm.
hour a day, if that, right? And I'm very
Hmm.
sporadic. Maybe today was at night,
Yeah.
morning, whatever. But like
Whenever you got time. Yeah.
I got my first client in probably like 6 weeks, 7 weeks around there. And listen, it was 500
Okay.
bucks. I mean, whatever, nothing to write
Yeah.
about, but still
It's a
like,
good start. Yeah. I
yeah, like,
mean, that's the
you
start.
know,
Yeah.
get 500. Okay, great. Now I do another one. Great. And then I
Hmm.
compounded, right? So like 6 months in, I was probably making consistently like 2,000 a month. Um,
Nice. But
working
that's with your twins, with the kids, and with all
yes,
of that.
yeah, yeah. So what my point is like if you're gonna put in more time and you're
Hmm.
obviously gonna get quicker results than me, right? Like, I mean, as long as the
Hmm.
work, is there and
Is
you're
getting done in the right way.
correct. So
Mhm.
it just depends, right? And like this is the thing, everyone's goals are different. So I hate just throwing out numbers because I'm like, I don't know,
No,
like,
I see.
but
Exactly. That
the
was your example.
correct. And
Hmm.
Ipe started around the same time as me, right? Like he's like my brother.
Hmm.
He's kicked my ass when it comes to business. I mean, seriously, from the if you were to compare our businesses, right? He's
Hmm.
completely excelled, quicker, bigger, right, than I have. But
Right.
again, he doesn't have kids. I mean, there's all this stuff, not married,
Hmm.
whatever. And so he devoted his life to that, right? That was his,
Mm.
you know,
Yeah.
world. For me, I just didn't
Right.
have the same opportunity in that way from a time perspective. So,
Hmm.
again, the more you do, just basic statistics, it's going to equate quicker and faster, right? And, there's a lot of things that we can show you and teach you on how to even like,
Hmm.
you want to go even bigger and faster. Like I can
Bigger and
tell you 5
faster.
different ways to do that,
Right. So out of all the students, you have like a huge community. I saw 7,500 people. If the people who actually put in the time and effort, however slow or fast, that doesn't matter. Would you say 60 to 70% of people actually make it up to a decent, I mean, are successful in it?
yeah, I
Or
mean, listen, I think everyone's story is
because
different,
it's a
right?
business, it's not going to be 100%, right? But
Correct. Correct.
for
I
those
think
who put
that,
in the effort,
yeah. And again, what does that effort mean, right? There's some people that want to make an extra 2 grand a month and they're happy, right? Like, it
mhm,
just, there is no reason why this model will not work, right? I think that's
mhm,
just proven, in the world. Like, this is what millions and billions of people, businesses spend their money on a daily basis.
mhm,
So, you know,
right,
it works. It's just how are you going to implement it, right? How are you going to do it? And what does that look like to you? So yeah, I mean,
right.
I've seen again every walk of life come in here and figure it out. I think the biggest telltale thing of people why they don't succeed, like being honest, it's
Mm-hmm.
because I think our society is a little lazy now and
And not patient.
yeah, exactly. And
Yes.
this this is something that is work, right? It is a real business and
Mm-hmm.
the payouts are amazing, right? The benefits of it. But,
Mm-hmm.
it is not some turnkey thing. Like you have to devote some time to it and
Of
you have to be
course.
willing to be adaptive, right? And figure it out and, ask the questions because it's not always going to be like this, like I've lost
Mm-hmm.
deals, I've screwed up. Like I mean, that's
Mm-hmm.
life. So, as long as you approach it in that way, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
sky's the limit. Like I said, you can truly do, whatever you want from this. And
Yeah, I
I've been
see.
able to implement it, like I said, on just so many different levels.
I see. Did Dan figure this out himself, or he had a mentor as well? Like I'm seeing this ladder of
No, yeah.
people leading to
He,
Dan and Ipe,
yeah,
and now you.
Dan
So,
figured it out. I think that he did a lot of research back then. And there was
okay.
somebody that was kind of like, I don't know, something in the realm, not, I'd say similar, but not anything to where this is. But I mean,
Okay.
um,
He scaled it up. Okay.
yeah, I mean, he definitely brought it to, I mean, scale, right? Like, I mean, he figured out
Mm,
how to compile all these different techniques into a business model, instead of
mm-hmm.
like, oh, okay, you know how to do this portion of it, like, but then it's like,
Right.
here's the roadmap, right? Here's step one, here's step two, here's how you
Right.
pitch it, here's how you price it, and I think like all of that in itself is, yeah, the model. Like, and again, I don't know
Right.
about courses you've looked at or talked to, but I mean, I know probably majority of them very well, because we taught,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
we
exactly.
taught them how to do this. And I think everyone kind of has their own little, spice that they put to it, or whatever the case
Mm-hmm.
is. But at the end of the day, like there's a reason why, this course itself has produced
Mm-hmm.
almost anything
These
related to
ways.
rank and rent on the internet, all ties to
Right, right.
this.
No, no, I'll tell you. I mean, I'll tell you honestly because
Yeah.
how does it matter? I had a call with Shiv's team because
Yeah, I know
that's how I
Shiv really
got to
well.
know about the car. Yeah, I got to know about the course through some link I found because it wasn't like posted. I somewhere on YouTube I found it. And from that I did my because I'm a voracious researcher. So that's how I kind of put the brand. I came to you guys. Then I saw another guy called Luke Van something.
Yeah, we taught him.
Yeah,
We taught all of them.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So before I could, I mean, get into calls with them, I was like, I wanted to speak with you guys first because you guys taught them. So, um,
Yeah. Shiv used to live with Dan. Dan like
mhm.
kind of took him under his wing because I mean, he's younger than all of us and
Yeah, he's much young.
um
Yeah.
super smart dude. I mean, he went to Stanford, he dropped out, but like,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, he learned. I mean, he lived and breathed this, under Dan. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that just shows you like again all the stuff that you can do from it. I think,
Right, right.
yeah, it's just really, it is kind of crazy for me just because I've known Dan for so long. Like I said, I mean, in college, right? We were broke. I mean, life
Yeah.
life was a lot different back
That's
then.
how college is. Yeah.
Yeah. But it is insane to see the growth of everything and like
Hmm.
we've come and you know if he can
Yeah.
do it, like, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I know I see it from a different perspective, but like I'm
Uh-huh.
also like, if he can do this, like I'm serious, like anybody can. Like, and that's the thing, like
Right.
you really just have to have that drive behind you to want to make it
Hmm.
work, and it's going to work.
Right.
you know? So
Right.
it's pretty
Can you
simple.
tell me more about because I read in the website just so that you can beat these guys, and I read the story about someone trying to impersonate them and really bring them down and all of that. That was like really sad to hear.
Oh, when it happened to
He has a
Dan,
video,
yeah,
yeah. I was
yeah.
like, wow, people can really come after you. But to like fight all of that and then to also all these students of yours who are having courses, you
Mhm.
have something called like you've already had a contract with people where someone will be assigned a city, something like that. Could you clarify like what is that?
Oh,
Do you know about? I
we
mean,
don't have contracts that we make students sign.
no, not with this. Like you've had contracts with small business owners
Oh,
where
yeah,
you
yeah.
already have something, and
Oh, yeah,
one will be given
yeah,
to a specific
yeah, yeah.
students
Sorry,
or
I was
something like
like,
that. Yeah.
yeah, so
No, not the other way around. Yeah.
we just launched that, which is
Yeah.
really cool actually. So basically
Yeah.
we have a whole, I mean, it's just growing all the time, lists of basically businesses that we've already, said we've already struck the sales deal side of it where it's like, hey, they're willing to pay for the leads. We have, a range depending on the city
Mm-hmm.
and niche. So
Mm-hmm.
it almost like eliminates half the workload, right? Because, you know, you can build the site and get it ranked. And then
Mm-hmm.
whether you're getting one call or 200, okay, it doesn't matter. You literally
Mm-hmm.
just let us kind of handle the money side of it. We handle the facing of the business, right? But you're getting paid regardless, period, point blank. So if you're getting a phone call,
Mm-hmm.
you're getting paid because they're already willing to pay those sets amounts for those leads. So,
Okay.
we can look at basically, all the cities. You could pick, whichever one you want out of them. We do the research, and that's in here,
Mm-hmm.
This is the due
I
diligence.
see.
portion.
So
Um,
that's a new thing you're talking about, like what you've launched. You've done certain of those for students who are gonna come to your program, or for past students? How does it, what is that
yeah, so
exactly?
I mean, we just launched it like, let me see if I can find the list. Hold on.
Yeah, because that sounds super
Give me a
interesting.
second. Um,
Um,
it does, I mean, listen, here's the pros and cons of it, right? You are giving up some of your profit, okay? Like that's the reality, but at the end,
that's fine.
exactly,
Yeah,
like
end
you
of the,
just,
yeah.
it's just the way you
That's
want
the
to look at
learning
it.
curve. It's a learning curve to see
Yeah.
how things are working. It's that's just one asset out of, I guess, hundreds that you can make,
No, for sure.
right?
You can start out that way and then you can like, go, sorry, I'm gonna try to find this link really quick because I can show you the cities.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Um, because then I can like at least show you what it is. But yeah, so basically, I mean, the cool part about it is that you have built-in money. Like, I mean, why would
Yeah,
like, and you don't have to do every deal that way, but for the people that are like, wanting some kind of reassurance, right? Like this is
right.
reassurance. Like you just need to build it and get it ranked. Like and follow what we
So yeah, okay. So that you're saying that maybe for selected students who come into the program, we will build the website, everything, all the SEO, and get it ranked. That is our job. And then from there, you'll help us to kind of get it, something like that. Or is it already ranked right now? That's how you get into it. And then you also build your own, because I think ranking will take a bit of time from what I've researched, 3 to 4 months, 6 months, something like that, right?
No, it doesn't take that long. So there's a couple options, right? So we have, and this is whatever kind of path you want to be geared to, I guess, is what I'd say.
Hmm.
There's the done for you stuff, which we have packages. Obviously, like those are more expensive, but
Hmm.
we build the sites, we rank them. We basically are handing you, like if you want more of the turnkey, like that's what it is. Like we're going to hand you sites that are making money, right?
Hmm.
So we
Okay.
kind of do all of that. You have ownership,
Hmm.
we do the work. So there's that side of it. And then from like a normal, I guess the normal side would be you are going to go through the course, learn the skills. And again, there's ways
Hmm.
to get leads quicker, right? But you're going to have to do the work on that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
ideally, I like to do that because I want to learn the stuff. I don't want
I
to
think
just.
it's good.
I just
I
wanted to know if
should,
both. I thought both of them are club. Like you learn and then you have that as well. Also, I don't have no idea about pricing. I could not find anything about
I
pricing online for you guys. I don't know how you guys do it, but we'll
um
get to that. I thought
yeah,
it's part of the plan. Like
here we
if
go.
you take the thing, then you get one side made. But that's fine. I understand what you mean.
We do build some sites for you as well,
Mm-hmm.
but they're just not ranked. So if you wanted, like if you said, I want the sites that are like built and ranked, so we'll do
Mm-hmm.
all the continual work. Like obviously that's
Okay.
a different, conversation. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it just
Right.
depends on how quick you want to go, right? And how fat, like we can, discuss all those things.
Right. I
This is
see.
the
I see.
this is basically like, I mean,
This kind of like a list of
so computer.
it's kind of looks like a, I see what you mean. But I see your point. I think I would not go with this anyway. I like to build it and learn the whole thing myself. My concern is like how long does it take to at least get some earning out of it if I put in time and effort,
Yeah, that's
considering my
the
circumstances, like
yeah.
moving to the New York and with all of the things happening at home and all of that, That's what I'm
That's what I'm
asking.
saying though, is like
Yeah.
I did it. I mean that I was
Yeah.
making money in like 6 or 7 weeks, right? Now, the thing
Hmm.
is when it comes to the ranking, you just have to remember it's only
Hmm.
going to continue to get more leads, right? Because you can still make money and get leads even if you have a couple
Right.
calls. It's just the way that you structure
Right.
deals. So we'll teach you all of that. But like your first deal, it's only going to get more, right? Because maybe you're only
Hmm.
getting 30 calls, but then it's continuing
Hmm.
to grow and rank better and all that stuff, more keywords. Like now
Hmm.
you're getting 100. Okay. So now obviously you're
Hmm.
getting paid more from that one site. So like, here's a great
I see.
example. a friend of mine, he had it was in Arizona, like Phoenix area, and I forgot the niche. It was, I don't know, something landscape, I don't know,
Okay.
whatever, doesn't
Okay.
matter. But
Okay.
he
Yeah.
started getting calls, okay? He found a business owner. He ended up the business owner, they agreed to pay like, I think it was $200 a week. Okay. So it was what,
Okay.
you know,
800 a
eight hundred
month. Yeah.
bucks. Okay. Um, as he, grew, right, and the calls
Mhm.
got bigger, better, more. Now, 2 years later, he's making 2,000 a week. Okay.
Yeah.
Because yes, like, I mean, that's an insane amount of money from one site. You know what I mean? Because of the way
That's one side. Okay. All right.
one
Wow.
site, one site.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but it's that's kind of the growth, right? Like you just have to have
Hmm.
those expectations. But that's why if you have lines in the sand, right, the more opportunities that you have, it's just going to continue to get more and more and more. So yeah, that's
I
kind of how.
see.
Listen, six
Okay.
months with the amount of time that you're able to put into this,
Mm-hmm.
it's plenty. You don't need, I mean, you don't need much
Okay.
more. I mean, honestly, I even think it's probably like 7 hours is a really long time, like if you
Yeah.
have it, but
It's just yeah. I have some time because of the situation I'm in.
no, for sure.
Because my work 24/7 was making music and teaching. So half my
Yeah,
time, and now I cannot do both and it drives me nuts to be in the hospital. It
yeah,
just it's crazy.
I'm sure. I mean,
So
it's
so
not a
that's
fun
why
thing.
I'm looking for all of these different things because I'm very like someone who like keeps doing stuff and I don't stay idle at all. Um, that's how I got from like coming from literally nowhere in a very small part of India to where I am today,
That's
and
awesome.
then ups and downs, you know.
Yeah.
But
Hey, that's
I
life.
see
Let
what
me
you
tell
mean.
you.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah,
I mean,
right, right, right.
I've been through enough of it. I know. And I mean, I think
Yeah,
that, that's the stuff I can't teach you though. Do you know what I mean? Like from a student
yeah,
perspective, like I can't teach you the drive. I can't teach you like,
yeah. It
you
has to
know,
come from inside, right,
correct. So like
right.
people ask like why are people successful? Well, I mean, same reason why
Yeah,
you're successful and where you're at right now because of the stuff that
right,
you're through that's going to push you.
right,
All you need is the tools, right? Like you just need the tools
right.
to do it. And like you got to
Figure it out.
figure out if like, hey, I see this as an amazing tool. Now
Mm-hmm.
take that same stuff that got you to where you are in life right now and just
Mm-hmm.
put it to
Right,
and start doing money, making money that
right.
way. And the
Mm-hmm.
cool part about this is like I said, you just don't really know where it could take you. And I think,
Mm-hmm.
your music stuff and everything else, like I've
Mm.
seen it done, like you have
Yeah,
that is printing money when you start, having those automations put in and you want to,
right,
put the passions out and like that's what you need, right? You don't want to be focused on an 8 to 5 when you want to sit there and do music,
right.
like
Also, this is the big one of the big reasons is even if I do my master's, I have to see music career needs to be funded. That's how it is. I don't know if you know about it. I'm a Grammy nominated musician, by the way. So,
awesome.
and even after that, I mean, it takes quite a leg and a arm to kind of make a decent living.
I know, I know.
As and so I want to be in a point where I'm doing well, okay, I'm doing okay, but it's not enough, and I need to fund my music career to really propel it.
Yeah.
So
I've
that's also
I've
kind of
I'm in
like
that space.
this thing.
That's amazing. So I mean, like I said, you already
Yeah,
have the other side of it. You know what I mean? Now you just need to
yeah,
figure out like, okay, I'm gonna invest some time into this. But I mean, I
yeah.
don't really think there's other models, honestly, at least in my opinion, from what I've
Mm-hmm.
seen, and I've done a lot of different stuff, that
Yeah.
you're
Okay.
able to build something once and then
Mm-hmm.
kind of again,
Have
there's
it like
involved,
this.
but like you just let it go after that, like move
It's
on.
like stocks, kind of like stocks.
Yeah, yeah, a little
As
more,
long
less,
as it keeps going up, yeah.
yeah.
Right.
But like, I just think that there's again so much opportunity, with all of it. And
Mm-hmm.
I had no clue if you would have asked me 10 years ago if I'd still be doing this, I would have said no. Like I didn't really
Yeah.
understand the potential
The
until you
value of it. Mm-hmm.
correct, until I got in and I'm like, oh shit, really, I can really like, this is big,
Right.
and I would not trade it for anything. It hasn't been always easy, but like I've
Yeah.
I've done other stuff and I'm like, this is way too much work. Or, I don't want to be in front of the clients all the time. Like I hate
Mm-hmm.
being on the phone or, like I just want to be able to go do what I want to do when I want to do it. And,
Right,
I gotta have
right.
money to fund that too. So it's like, you
Exactly.
know,
No, I'm even funding my hospitalizations of my father as well. That's why like I'm just
yeah,
going down. Everything's going minus, and it's been like 6 years now with that.
I'm
So
sorry.
yeah, that's fine. That's just life again.
Yeah,
But I'm like, oh, life's taking a U-turn, so I better figure out something quick and fast and put in the efforts. And I looked at drop shipping, affiliate marketing. First of all, none of those made sense to me as how I am,
yeah.
because I cannot be doing all these China buying this and that. Um,
A lot of work.
Also affiliate, yeah, affiliate. I mean, a lot of work, plus it didn't really call to me.
Mhm.
Affiliate marketing didn't really going to pull a lot of buttons. But this one, when I read about this model, which I read like literally 4 days back, so the day I got to know, I did all this research and kind of got into your call, but I was like, this kind of sounds very logical.
Yeah,
But see, I definitely want to join. Please tell me more about how to join, what,
for sure.
especially what is the price, because that's seems to be nowhere online. And I'm sure
Yeah,
it's a high ticket, but how expensive is it?
no, for sure. So, I mean, how we operate, there's no like upsell stuff. It's none of that, right? Like, I mean, like I said, we're very direct. So the cost of the
Mhm.
course, okay, it's 7,860. And then,
Okay.
all right. And then if you want the higher, like, like I told you, the two options, right? So there's
Right, right,
done for
right.
you style options where obviously from a quicker perspective, like you're gonna make,
Hmm.
it's done for you, right? We're handing you
I
money at that
see.
point, kind of thing.
I
Um,
see.
those are more expensive, but I mean,
Hmm.
that's forever. Okay, that's lifetime access,
Yeah, I see.
all the coaching, everything, and you also get 5 done for you sites with that.
I
So we'll
see.
build, your first 5. Like we'll go over this together,
Yes.
right? Like
I
your due
see.
diligence, and then you'll
Do you
say,
do you have because this is quite steep for me, so do you have payment plans and stuff like that
yeah, we do
for this?
for sure.
What
I mean,
kind do
listen,
you have?
we can
Because
be.
it's a high ticket item, but I was not expecting it to be that expensive. Um, which is okay, but tell me more about like the payment plans and stuff like that. Let me
Yeah,
see
so
if yeah.
let me pull it up. This is gonna sound like it's gonna be very naive, so just like I'm just gonna ask. I mean,
Mhm.
you have like, are you able to get like, you have a social with the US or like financing?
I do.
Oh, you do?
I
Okay.
do. I do. I have Social Security, yes.
Okay, cool. Sorry. I'm just like, I don't want to sound like a jackass by saying that, but I'm
No,
just
no, no. I
sure.
stayed there
So,
for 5, 6 years.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I
Why do you
figured. So
ask
it's
though?
like, so because there's financing options from a cash flow perspective, because ultimately that's what it's coming down to. So I can send
Mm-hmm.
you what that looks like.
So it's kind of like a loan, right?
Yeah, so that would be,
Mm-hmm.
so basically if you're able to pay for it in full, we'll drop 1,000 off, okay? So it'd be 68.60,
Mm-hmm.
okay? With the
Mm-hmm.
financing options, you are able, I mean, they'll split up the payments, right? But they pay us. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
you can push those out or whatever, so months and months and months with them.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be
Mm-hmm.
probably the best option from like a cash flow perspective.
So
Um,
there's going to be an interest. Do you know what interest it is for them?
it just
Or is
depends.
it like a no cost
So
EMI or something? Is
it's
this
right
the one
here.
you're talking about?
Yeah. So I could send you this. I mean,
Okay,
it literally
that's not
takes,
bad, 6%.
yeah. And I mean, listen, pay it off early, right? I mean, it's just like anything else, but it's saving you 1,000 bucks on our end, from that. You can make payment terms what you want it to be, and then you can pay it off.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just like anything else quickly. Um, so I
I
mean, you
see.
do this really quick. I would say go this route personally if you want. I mean, that's
Mm-hmm.
what majority of
It's
people.
just a risk I will be taking. But then I guess again,
Yeah, I mean,
if I
it's
take
a
seven, six
calculated one.
thousand, yeah, I mean,
Calculated one.
hopefully, if I put in the effort, if the money comes back, nothing like it, that's like the best option if you look at it. I mean, I definitely could have paid a part of it. Of course, I'm not saying I didn't expect it to be $7,000, $8,000. I thought it's
No,
probably
for sure.
$2,000 or $3,000, at the
Yeah.
max. But I'll definitely look into this.
Okay.
You say this will be split into payments,
So
something like that, right?
they'll give you the terms. I mean, it takes like two
Mm-hmm.
seconds. I mean, I can send you the link. You can check. right now if you want. And at least
Mm-hmm.
you can see what the options are, with that.
Mm-hmm.
And, if those don't work, like we'll figure out,
Mm-hmm.
a different way, right?
I see.
I'm not worried about the finances. We can always figure that out, okay? Because,
Okay.
the money's there if you're going to do it, period, end of story. But
Right.
from a cash flow perspective,
Flow perspective. Mm-hmm.
it's always better to, if you can minimize that, right? Pay a couple $100 a month rather than take out 4 grand, in savings, right? Or whatever the case is, and put as
Right, right.
down. So, yeah, I would
So
say,
you're saying that you're absolutely like, because you're also like putting this to me and like what do you mean? You're suggesting this to me. So you're pretty
yeah,
sure if I put in the effort, the results will come. I mean,
I'm, I'm gonna
I
tell you
mean, of
that,
course, no one can say
yes.
100%, but I'm saying close.
Listen, I did it. I mean, this is my story, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Right.
I don't see, there's no reason why it shouldn't, because
Right. Right. I see
every
what you mean.
business needs this, right? Like, I will
Right.
say, I mean, I'm just being transparent. Like, the money is there. You just have to be willing to listen to what we tell you. Okay. Like, we've done
Mm-hmm.
this for a very long time,
Long time.
been in the
Yeah. Yeah.
ringer.
Yeah.
Like, I can tell you how to go make 5 grand tomorrow, right? If
Right.
the issue is, are you going to do it? Like, I mean,
Do it.
that's the
Of
stuff.
course. I get that point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
don't worry
mean,
about that with me.
listen, I
Yeah.
know it's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
cliche. But
But it is true
honestly,
because I have had people pay me 2,000, $2,500 to get coaching from me and then completely not coming to even one class. I know
yeah, and it's
exactly
like,
what you
what the
mean.
hell are you doing?
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
would not do that even if I'm earning like $1 million because
no,
every penny counts, right?
no, it's just like, to me, I'm kind of just like, man, I mean, you're like, that's what people are, their own worst enemy, Like, I'm like,
Right.
what's going on? Or, but like, whatever. But I mean, listen, I have a life, I have a business, I've got tons of my own stuff to do. So I can't
Right.
sit there and like, um, you know,
Mm-hmm.
babysit. Like, that's not my job,
Right, right, right,
you know?
right,
Like,
right, right.
but listen, I've helped so many people. All the group is phenomenal. Like, we'll meet you
Mm-hmm.
wherever we need to meet you from a coaching.
Mm-hmm.
I can't
I
do the work
see.
for you, but like,
Right.
it's there. So,
Right. That's great. I have an idea. Again, it will sound silly and stupid and probably Stone Age, but I'm going to send you a website right now. All right.
okay,
This is my website of my teaching program. Right.
okay,
I would like for all of you guys to go and check this out. All
uh,
right. If you want to open it up, you can open it up right
yeah,
now. Now, as cliche as it sounds, you all have kids. All right. And I think I'm the best person to teach music production in the world. Right. Go over my reviews, listen to the songs you know, pitch this to your team that if you guys have kids, I would first 8 weeks, the next 8 weeks, I'll teach all of your kids to be the best music producer in the world. And then
mhm,
you give me the course, but I'll still pay at least whatever is a good amount. 2,000, 3,000 is what I can kind of go up to extend. And I would
yeah.
do it. It's a barter system, but it's from the best person in the world for teaching music production.
I have no,
This is
I have no
so
problem.
this is so
I,
funny. I'm just because we started with music production.
no, I
I
get it.
mean,
I get it.
I am not even gonna sell myself. You should go and check
I
out
will. I will.
my
I will for
bio and
sure.
my profile and who
Yeah.
I am. And this is Lex. This is me on Instagram.
Uh-huh.
And that's
Okay.
me on Instagram. And you should check out my profile, see what I'm doing. This is my
For sure. I
website.
will. I will. I'll send it to Dan. Like I said, I mean, he's super
Yeah,
into this. I'll be honest. We,
yeah.
they're not gonna barter that. Ipe doesn't have kids, and
Hmm.
like Dan does his own stuff.
Right,
At least at this
right.
point, But um, I mean, I will.
No, I'm not saying for free. I know your thing is very, I'm not that
Sure.
stupid. I mean, I just want to be able to afford it without a loan with an expertise thing that I have, which is from the best place in the world, which is
Mhm.
Berkeley, right? And I've done this for kids and
Yeah.
I've run a successful production business. Is that just right now, at my situation right now, is that I have a father to take care. I have to go to New York for my master's. I'm very careful with I have the money. Of course, I have the money. I'm very
Sure.
careful with every penny I'm spending, is what I
Mhm.
mean. So you should go check that
Hey,
out.
I
If
think
that
it's
doesn't work
totally
out,
worth
we will this thing.
asking.
Yeah.
But like, I think also too, I mean, like I said, I think that if you you need the option to do it. I mean, you have to do
Right.
something. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, spending the money is also, an investment into this and I mean, you could easily
Mm-hmm.
make that back with what? How much does your course cost? 3 grand?
Mine is $2,000 for
Okay.
my course.
Yeah,
2,000,
yeah,
yeah.
2 grand. Okay. So, I mean, what? That's a couple client, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I know, but
this and it,
I've not been doing it for a while. That's the thing.
yeah.
For the last couple months, because I've not been able to do most things, and that's one of the reasons I applied for masters, was like to get out of the hole here, you know. But
Hmm.
check it out. I'm not saying that. Otherwise, we always have that option, and I'm not asking for a discount, by the way. That's
Yeah,
not what I'm
yeah, yeah.
saying. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
for
Just
sure.
being very upfront.
Hey,
Professional to a
listen,
professional in the Stone Age.
I get it. It's not the Stone Age.
Yeah,
And this is
yeah,
stuff that will teach you anyway, too. Like, it doesn't hurt to ask. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you should do that. And like I said, I'll for
yeah. Yeah.
sure send it to Dan because I know he's interested
Right.
just from like a,
Yeah.
interest perspective. But I don't,
Hmm.
I won't
Also
say
from
I
India, like
won't,
in
but
general, just because I was in the US, for anyone in India, we are a developing country. $7,000, 8,000, it's like $30,000 if
no,
you
I know
think about it from a US
for sure.
perspective, you know.
Yeah,
7,000 or 8,000 was my semester tuition at Berkeley after the scholarship. So that's what I'm talking about.
I know.
Um,
It's,
but
it can,
definitely go
I mean,
through it. And if I really want to join you guys. I don't want to. I've had a talk with Kyle from Shiv's. I didn't like talking with him in general, but I'm having such an organic conversation with you. I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure you're feeling the same.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'd
Listen,
love to. Yeah,
that's why I do what I do. I mean, I don't have to,
yeah,
you know, I love helping.
right,
Listen, I was a teacher. I mean, I do love,
right, right, right. And that's what you do now. You teach, right? Mostly with the course, or
no,
are you mostly into the
I wouldn't
calls
even
and
say
stuff?
I wouldn't even say I teach. I mean, I kind of got
Hmm.
like roped into doing this somehow years ago
I
because
see. I see.
Dan's like, hey, I need help. And I'm like, oh yeah, sure. And then to be honest, it keeps me fresh a little bit too, right? Because
Right.
I've done this for so long where it's like you can get in those ruts where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I still get new ideas from talking to students.
Mm-hmm.
I'm involved for sure. Probably, I mean, not as much as, ePay on a live level. I don't really do as
Right, right,
lives
right.
anymore. But yeah, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally, yeah, in the thick of it. So, yeah, I mean, I've
Awesome.
been around for a
That's
long,
yeah.
long.
Yeah, I've seen from what I'm seeing, it's very organic from your website and from their websites. And
Yeah,
from my conversation with you, I feel like this is definitely the best program. And I think I'll put in the effort to get whatever is paid back. It's not a lot of money actually, because I've made a lot of money in the past. Seven, eight
yeah,
thousand, 10,000 is not a lot of money.
no.
But right now my situation is such. So let's go with you pitching this to them. Let's see what they have to say. If not, you've already sent me a payment option. Maybe I don't take the whole payment option. Maybe I pay a little bit upfront. I don't know. I'll see
Yeah,
what I can
again,
do.
you
Yeah.
figure out, like I said, I will for sure send this to them and see,
Hmm.
if there's something that, we can knock
Yeah.
off or, whatever the case is. But um,
Right. Even if you can put me on a payment plan of like some $500-600 a month or something like that for a longer time, I'm down with that. I have monthly recurring income,
mm.
but I can't just like put everything out in the situation that I am in
Oh
right now.
no, for sure.
You know
Well,
what I
listen,
mean?
that's why I'm
Yeah.
saying that financing stuff,
Yeah.
I mean,
Right. That's
that's
a good option.
the
Yeah.
500, 600 a month, right? Like I totally
Right.
get it. Like, listen, you don't want to go into debt, right? I mean, it's obviously
Exactly. That's
not,
my because my visa, I have to
but
apply for my
but it
visa
doesn't
also.
matter which way you're going. I mean, you're going to be in debt either, like
Yeah.
with a company that's going to give you a lower price, in the like they're going to do lower monthly payments, right? If we're
Right, right.
doing
Well,
something in,
we no, for my visa also, I need to really make sure I have good credit, which I do right now, by the way.
yeah.
So I need to maintain that, which I think, say again, I'm down to taking this risk. I mean, I'll just put in the effort, I'll take in the loan that's required, and then put in the
I
effort.
don't
You guys
think
will
that
help
it's
me
even
out, and we'll
a
figure it
risk
out.
on your end, right? Because I mean, honestly, like the only risk is yourself. You know what I mean? Because like the
Right,
model is there. Like this is freaking like so needed. I mean, it's
right.
insanity how quickly you'd be surprised you get clients. They're like, oh, I
Get
mean,
clients.
somebody finds
You
out.
guys are there to help me, right? So that's my
Yeah,
biggest thing. Like I'll put in the effort, I'll make in 20 websites in the first month, I'm pretty sure, knowing how I am. and then just help me out tweaking things. And also, by the way, these websites, all of these backend stuff cost much cheaper in India. What's $20, $50 in the US? Same websites you can buy from the same domain. For example, Wix, it's for like $5, which is for like
Oh,
$20. So those
yeah,
are many advantages I have being in
that's good.
India as
That's good.
well. So
Yeah.
my game plan is to like get into this thing, really religiously see what's there in this whole course. And
Uh-huh.
in the first 2 months, really make those 10, 20, because it's also numbers game. You can't rely on one or two websites. And those 20, and get on the calls every week. And then with your help, figure out, I'm sure if something is not working out on my end and you know that I'm on a loan, I'm sure your team will help me out. I mean, I get that vibe from you guys
We,
anyway.
we are that way. I mean, and listen, if I
Mm.
don't know the answer, somebody does, right? And I can
Someone will,
lead
right.
you to the correct person. Like there's so
Hmm.
many of us that have, again, years and years and years of experience where we're like, oh shit,
Right.
okay, this is, okay, I went through this problem. I know how to fix this. Or
Right.
there you go, right? Like I can guide you into those directions rather than
Hmm.
you just sitting there trying to do it yourself, which again, I think you can, right? Anyone
Right.
can. And
Right. Right.
got
I
enough,
mean, my experience says that you can do it on your own, but you need mentors for everything in life, for everything literally.
yeah.
Because I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't have Berkeley. I really wouldn't have. So, and my mentors and my teachers. So again, I'm very nerdy. Sorry, I'm an engineer, by the way. I
Oh,
did my
I
engineering first and then music. I'm a
that's
chemical
not,
engineer.
I don't think it's nerdy at all. I mean, listen,
Right.
I think it's amazing. And I just think that I have a lot of personal experience with it just because, I
Hmm.
mean, I literally would sit with Dan for hours in the studio, and like we would just rip our own songs. Like, I mean, we've got some
Right.
funny stuff, but just have a really cool time with it and learn from it. And I just think that, again, there's so many things you can do with this. Like, truly, I mean,
Yeah.
it's, you just need to learn it. You need to get yourself immersed in it. And like, I'm telling you, I just know from
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
been,
yeah.
and
As long as you put in the effort, and
yeah.
yeah, that's what my plan, because I really don't want to be like sharing a room in New York and all of that. Oh man, like, I'm older now, and I know it's education and masters and all of them. They're so sweet. They're giving me, I think I'll be the first like highest scholarship
That's
student for
awesome.
masters at Berkeley. So I'm very psyched, but I'm also like scared that, with my current, and I'll also not be, by the way, when I'm in the US, I can't really on the face work. So when I set up all of this, I'll probably do it in my partner's name or something, because I can't really be on F1 visa and work.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
really need to set it up while I'm here. You see my urgency. It's not like I'll go to the U because I can make a living in the US if I go through DJing gigs and stuff like that under table, but I can't do it like online officially. So this is my time from
Yeah.
March
Well,
to
and you
August.
definitely need,
Yeah.
yeah, you need to get moving fast. And then
Yeah.
also like the other side of this business is you can be pretty private. You know what I mean? Like it's not like your face
Right.
needs to be really out there. I mean,
Right.
at the end of the day, when you're setting up these websites, right? I mean, you're passing the leads off. I mean, they don't care
I
who you
see.
are. They just want the leads, make a
The
deal,
leads,
money,
right.
like that's
Right.
the stuff that we, do and teach.
Right.
We're not about the fluff. I think a lot of courses are all like,
Yeah, that's the scary part. That's always the scary part, especially if I have never invested in something as expensive as this for course. I've done my college and stuff, but I
yeah,
really think this will, after speaking with you, I really feel this is
yeah.
the
It is.
one.
It's
Yeah.
the real
Yeah.
deal. I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, again, I know it's easy for me to say, right? I'm on the other side. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I still had to make the same decisions that you had to make. I paid for the course just
Yeah.
like anybody else. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, Dan likes money,
Yeah.
so fine. But like
Yeah.
it works. And like I
Yeah.
just think I think people are crazy to stay in a position for themselves when you have an opportunity to do something,
Right.
that's life. You have to make those choices. That's entrepreneurship. I mean,
Right.
you take the information you have, you make the best decisions you
Right.
have with it. You seem like a smart,
Right.
like, I mean, it's
Right.
not like, you're
No,
buying.
because even like the information, although it's gonna be knocked off from your course, I think Shiv's is like less than half of what you guys are doing. But I don't want to, I mean, if you guys are the OG ones and the information starts from you guys now, I mean, that's also like psychological. That makes sense for me to, I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
contribute
I
there.
won't even like go into that story because it's sad, but like, um,
Really.
you know,
Hmm.
I mean, there's a reason why, like, those aren't, I mean, go look at the community, all that kind of, it's just not the same because
Okay.
it's not about the course. That's what people forget. Like,
It
it's
is true,
about,
right?
it's this, right? It's these organic conversations, the relationships you build. I mean, you're in music, you know
Right.
how valuable that
Yeah.
stuff is, like the
Right.
networking. I mean, that is truly the core of who we are. Like,
Right.
this is
Right.
just the
Yep.
vessel, right, to get us to where we need to go, right, and make money,
Right.
like do that.
Exactly.
The
True,
skills,
true.
whatever, but like you need to have some people in your pocket and on your team,
Hmm.
right, that are going to
To
excel in
help, yeah.
life in general.
Exactly.
And
Right, right.
there's a
Yeah.
lot to learn.
I truly agree. Yep.
Yeah.
We were
Well,
very honest with my music production program. We were very, that's why I keep, as I keep saying, I think we're, I don't, I didn't, we didn't, because we're not business people. Me and my business partner was in LA.
mm-hmm.
We were not able to get enough leads, and then frankly after a point of time we were really saturated. We're like, this is, we need a person to do all of that. We are so engrossed into teaching. And so if you go through our reviews, and we have tons of them in
Yeah,
our
I
website,
looked
you'll
at your
be quite
site.
surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so those, every, not one unhappy client, not one, not even one in the last 2 3 years. And
And I think
but
that,
now I've like mellowed it down because I'm realizing that is not a future. That's not going to make me a lot of money. So I kind of am slowing down. I have a little bit happening,
yeah.
but I'm kind of getting away from it. And he's also getting, because we both realize that it's not a niche that can make you a lot of money unless you are, I don't know, Ed Sheeran, which I'm not.
Not yet,
So,
not yet.
you know what I
See?
mean? Yeah,
Not
not
yet.
yet. Exactly. Yeah.
No, I mean, I think
So,
though that there's when you figure out, right, like this stuff, like you're gonna learn,
yeah,
you're gonna have your brain that starts working and then figure out how to take,
the
this in a
information.
way
Yep.
and repackage it in a more efficient way that's going to bring you, like, seriously,
Right.
one thing I've learned from Dan throughout the years is like you have
Yeah.
to learn how to leverage people and time and right and all that stuff. This is something I would not give up on. I just think if you need to
Right, of course.
figure it
Yeah.
out, right? Like, how do you take
Reconfigure 2.0.
correct these new skills?
Yeah.
How can you make it less work for you guys? Is there, like, and
Right.
those are things you can learn, like we have, from this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we need to
Right.
automate
Right.
this more. How do we do that? We need to set up this, we need to set up that. And not just from a lead perspective, but also from a teaching perspective, and I think that
Yeah.
these are
Right.
all things that we've done, like we've created a
Right.
courses. I know how this works. Like, I know
Yeah. And you
things.
must have a ton, you must have tons of success stories in the group, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, they're all, I mean, there's 10 years of
Yeah,
10
10 years
years
of stuff.
stuff like in here. And so,
Mm-hmm.
let me,
Yeah. And I think even if the algorithm and stuff changes, I'm sure you guys will be the first ones to dive into and figure out what's the best way
well, yeah,
compared to
because
everyone
we're gonna
else.
lose
I,
our
I would assume.
businesses. Like, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, we
Right.
we're very active. It's not like we are just sitting here selling a course. Like, I mean, we still all have our business.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
Right. And you're actively doing it, so.
yes. And if something happens,
Right.
like we need to know and we're changing. I mean, this
Mm-hmm.
is what, a couple days ago. I mean, we're always adding value, right? This is alive.
Right.
And him
Right.
showing like new techniques, one
Mm-hmm.
specifically that, we were kind of going over. So, like I said,
Right.
you just got to do it. We'll be there to
Yeah.
help you. You're very successful in your life right now in your own right. Like,
Mm-hmm.
now you just need the tool that's going
Mm-hmm.
to allow you to make some money, right? Doing
Yeah, exactly. That's been the biggest
focus.
hurdle.
Yeah.
Ironically, I mean, don't tell anyone that I'm a Grammy nominated musician who is like thinking about $10,000. It shouldn't be the case. But again, see, my circumstances are
It
different. I'm
doesn't,
paying a
that doesn't
lot for my dad's
matter. But
dad's situation and stuff like that. I'm paying for my college now,
yeah,
going forward, and then I have to pay for my living expense. I have to really, and I'm also married, so we're all like everything's happening together.
I hear
So,
you.
and
I
I
hear you.
and I have such a comfortable life in India. I don't want to give this. I stay in a like a decent place and everything.
Yeah.
So,
No, for
so I
sure.
want to kind of like continue that, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna work out with this. And I'm down. I'm down. We just need to figure out this. What is the best option? So let's start with what I
Like I said,
said. Let's my pitch first, then the other one, which is the financing, and hopefully one of those two will work out.
Why don't you, like I said, I'm gonna message Dan. He's on the West Coast, so he's not up right now
Mm-hmm.
because he does not wake
Mm-hmm.
up early.
Okay.
So I'll message him, I'll talk to Ipe, but you check out the financing and at least see if that's an
Okay.
option, because we need to
All
know
right.
that first, because
Right.
that will help guide us in what route we need to go. Um,
Right.
we'll take it from there and we'll figure out
Okay.
something. So, okay,
Okay. Awesome. Awesome.
cool.
Yeah, if this works out, I'll start next week. So
Okay, sounds good.
yeah.
Like I said, you check out that. I'll
Yeah,
email you.
please send that to me.
I
Yeah.
will. I did. I already
Mhm.
sent it to you. So
Okay,
let me know
okay.
if
All
you
right.
got
I
it.
haven't checked it out.
Um, but I will talk to Ipe and stuff today, and I'll at least email you and give you like an update of where we're at.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, that stuff on your end just takes literally a few minutes, and at least we'll
I'll
know if
check
it's
that
an
out.
option. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Wait, so I
So
also had scheduled another appointment. Was it from the same, like, because I saw two links and I scheduled both. I don't know if it was for the same thing. With Snaps. Snaps is ePay's website, isn't it?
yeah, that's it's us. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I have a call with someone else right after this, which I should cancel then right now. I
Yeah.
don't know.
What
With
is
Ryan.
it?
Ryan, I
Well,
think.
yeah, so yeah, you can just cancel it. That's fine.
Okay. Okay. It's the same thing, right? Of
It's the
course.
same thing. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
I'll do that.
Okay, well then
So
I'll talk to you soon. I'll email you.
yeah.
What time is it over there right now?
It's 10:30 p.m. Yeah.
Okay. I'll
Yeah.
I'll email you in a little while, but if anything,
Yeah,
we can
sure.
chat. You probably need to
Right.
sleep and all that
Mm,
jazz.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
we'll chat with the next day or so too.
Awesome. Awesome.
But hey, it was really
All
nice
right.
meeting you.
Same,
And
same. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
of course,
Go
yeah. And
check out my music. It's Laxon Music. You should go check out my music.
I will, I promise. I'll follow
EDM.
you.
Yeah.
I'll go follow
Yeah.
you
All
once
right.
you hop off. So
Awesome.
okay.
Awesome. I
Okay.
will
I'll
stay in
talk
touch
to
and we'll figure this out. Yeah.
you will. So I'll
All
talk
right.
to you.
Thank you so much for your time. It was a long call and I'll speak to you very soon.
Okay, sounds good. Have a good night.
All right. Same to you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.